Muy buena tarde. Les habla el Nazi Boricua. Today we are episode 2 of In the Clouds podcast. I am your co-host Sergio.
And I'm your co-host Josh. Today we're going to be covering the NBA semifinals, what winning teams need to do to move on, and what losing teams need to do to get better for next season. We're going to be covering social media effects on sports, life, relationships, and business. We're going to talk about what inspires us to do what we do outside of this podcast, and we're going to talk about going all in on our passions and taking that big leap. So,
today's episode is brought to you by Encanto Aesthetics LLC, owned by Tiffany de Jesus Nieve, specializing in beauty services, licensed since 2018. Latina-owned business. Give her a follow at Encanto Aesthetics on IG and Facebook. Encanto Aesthetics. Get summer ready and book. All right, let's get it.
Round 2. How we feeling?
Good. How are you feeling about these playoffs?
Good. A lot of threes. Whole lot of threes. Speaking of which, let's talk about New York and Boston first.
I'm loving it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I am loving it. The Knicks were the reason I started watching basketball when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days of Oakley, Mason, Starks, Ewing, so watching the Knicks come out of nowhere and beat Boston, the highly favored team, at home, 2 straight games on the last shot. I'm loving it. It's Boston's own demise.
Yeah.
You're up by 20 and you keep chucking threes like you're down by 20. You deserve to lose.
Agreed. Back-to-back times, too. I mean, 63s in one game, 25 for 100 total.
Yep.
Right?
And no Porzingis. Remember I told you in our last episode, if Porzingis is not healthy, Boston ain't winning nothing. Last year, he was the catalyst in that title run for them, and he's been out of this series, which is crazy because it's against the Knicks, the team that drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked that he's not playing.
Yeah.
But the amount of threes they're shooting at the percentage they're hitting it, 25% on 100 3-pointers in 2 games.
Yeah.
This is just absurd. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like they're just relying on names and talent. There's no offensive rhythm. There's no system. There's just threes.
Yeah.
And threes and threes. I mean, they're throwing more threes than 2-point shots, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like any offensive rebound. It's just you grab a rebound, kick out for another 3.
Yep.
It's all analytical basketball. They're going based off numbers, percentage. These players need to shoot this many shots. No mid-range game, really. I mean, like you said, these are self-inflicted wounds. They deserve to lose. Honestly, you're up 20 twice back-to-back at home. I mean, you gave New York confidence. That's the last thing they needed.
I mean, they went in confident already because in the fourth quarter, I mean, as of right now, they got the best dude in the fourth quarter this year in the playoffs, bro. Brunson is money.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Boston just looks soft, man. They look like they're getting just...
They do. They look like they got that championship hangover,
For sure.
Yeah. We were talking earlier, too, as far as New York goes. Mikal Bridges, great. OG Anunoby, great. Right. Jalen Brunson, great. The player we're kind of hesitant in putting all the faith in is Cat because he's pretty inconsistent. Sometimes he could be a little soft and passive too, or just sit on the 3-point line. How do you feel about him?
I feel like Cat could be the catalyst in, at the end of the day, winning this series. I don't think they're sweeping Boston. But who's stopping Cat if he wants to actually play, bro? Down low. No Porzingis there. There's no 7-foot presence to stop Cat.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? He don't really need to shoot a lot of threes.
No.
They got shooters all over the court. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the thing. He will.
Yeah, he will because he likes it. But I think he can dominate. But, whatever they're doing, the system is working. They're playing physical ball. The ball is moving. And, I mean, they're all playing hungry. Mikal went 0 for 9 the first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth went off, and put the shackles on your boy Tatum. I know you love Tatum, the light skin.
Hey, chill. There's something going on with him right now. I don't know.
It's called bitch assness.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
We'll just say it's temporary. I don't know.
It's crazy. I mean, it
happened real quick.
It. Yeah, it
happened. You really can't explain it. It's like you live by the 3, you die by the 3. It's like, y'all were dominating all season. But they set the 3-point record, right, for all-time threes in a season. But it's like, I mean, it's the playoffs, man. The court shrinks.
This is the real season now.
This is the real season. It's two different. I mean? It's two different things. It's kind of shocking.
They got no excuse.
Yeah, I mean, although it is nice to see New York do some shit, because they were always a laughingstock, right?
Yeah.
And we were also saying this earlier. I was never really the biggest Melo guy, even when he was in New York. I mean, we were kind of ingrained to watch him just through LeBron.
You know what's crazy? When the Knicks were doing shitty, everybody was talking about the owner.
Nobody's talking about that dude now.
About him now. They built a squad down there. You know?
People are saying now those what was it, 5 picks for Mikal Bridges?
Yeah.
People are saying that's worth it now. And it's like, what, 2031? That's when it extends to?
Yeah.
So it's like people are saying that now. I mean, their best chance is now.
It is. I mean, they might be able to pick somebody else in the offseason. I wish they didn't let go of Hartenstein. He was a dog for them last year. But, I mean, they're looking good. And like I said, Boston has no excuse. I mean, the Cavs are down 0-2, but, you know, they were missing 2 starters and they're 6-man. So...
And they're back tonight, too.
They lost by 2 points the last game or 3 points without 2 starters. You know they would have won that game easily, you know. So I hope they get healthy because it's going to be a good series. I think the Cavs can still take Indiana to 7 games.
Yeah.
And if it's game 7, bro, it's at home. I don't see them losing. But Boston's in trouble, bro. I give it Knicks in 6. Where you at on that?
Sorry, I was blowing on this cigar. I would have to say...
You think they pushing it to 7?
I think they could push it to 7. I think Boston will kind of wake up and kind of realize. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's between Tatum and Brown, and they know that.
At the end of the day, like I said,
if
Porzingis is not there, that series ain't going to 7 games, bro.
And, bro, I don't know if you realized, at least one of these games throughout, 3 out of the 4 series, all of them were game-winning buckets.
Oh, yeah. Everything's been decided by 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, this playoffs is crazy, man.
So, I mean, the Knicks are proven as far as that. I mean, that's good for them to be winning all these tight games. It's just stuff you never see the Knicks doing. They're always the team to fuck up or get a dumb foul or just choke. Not this year, bro. Brunson's that dude. Dallas got to be kicking themselves in the face for letting Brunson go.
That's why when they let go of DiVincenzo, I was like, damn. Because they like playing together. They were all at Villanova together, so it's like you already have that chemistry. You won. They won back-to-back titles, didn't they? It's crazy. Sir. I mean, you bring that winning culture there, and Jalen Brunson is playing with his dad, too. Nobody talks about that shit either. Like, he's playing with his father, part of the coaching staff. And, you know, other people get talked about father and son dynamics. But I digress. Let's cover Cleveland and Indiana. How do you feel? Cleveland is down in this.
They're down, but like I said, I mean, they've been missing some. I mean, Garland is huge for them. So is Mobley, you know. I think that series will go to 7. There's no answer for Donovan Mitchell, bro. He's been lighting them up. It's just Indiana's playing good ball, man. And they got Halliburton, who has taken that whole ranking of the most overrated player to the bank.
Shoved it up their ass.
I bet you if he's smart, he should market that whole overrate that.
Yeah.
Like Kirk Cousins did.
Yeah. And he's, I don't know if you noticed, he was rocking like Kobe exclusives and shit, but now he's rocking Puma. So
he's going to get a contract soon. He's the best point guard in the game, bro. And what he's doing this year, I feel like last year he had a better regular season, but you could tell in the playoffs he kind of got eaten up. You know, they did beat Milwaukee last year in the playoffs too, but still, the way he's playing this year, bro, he coming. Like I said, he took that shit personal. The fact that the dudes you're on the court with said you're the most overrated player in the league, he took that shit to heart, and he's showing them.
Yeah.
He is not.
Yeah. Like we were saying last episode, though, I believe we covered it last episode, like, this is an anonymous poll amongst the players. So, of course, like, if I'm whooping your ass, I'm going to say, like, oh, man, he not even all that. he overrated this that. You're just tight that he whooped your ass, honestly. But yeah, I like Indiana. They are playing on Cleveland's weaknesses. They Mobley and Darius Garland will eat. Although Darius Garland does have a guarding problem.
Yeah, but he don't got a passing the ball or scoring problem.
Exactly.
And Mobley down low, I mean, he's a game changer down there. I mean, Indiana's killing them.
He got Defensive Player of the Year, right? Mobley
I believe
did.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
You know, those are the two teams in the East. How do you feel about the West? How do you feel about that Oklahoma when they came back?
They smashed in the second game. Damn.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Denver just doesn't have it. I mean,
I'm surprised they've gotten as far as they did, bro, with a new coach.
It is impressive. I mean, Jokic is on his player coach type shit, but you need other players to step up, and it shows you do need a coach that's going to tell you what to do. You have to follow orders in this league. I mean, they're the chess players. I mean, they're the ones coming up with all these schemes. Again, to Boston's point, the coach didn't make adjustments. For Denver, I feel like they don't even have a coach that knows how to adjust. I mean, it's all Jokic. He's basically subbing himself out, telling other players when to come in and shit. As much as we want to see them thrive, the probability of that happening, and OKC is just young and fresh.
And OKC, unlike Boston, like I said, I mean, you could see from game 1 to 2 the difference, bro. They adjusted and slaughtered Denver. Even though in game 1-2, bro, Denver's comeback was miraculous. Everything lined up. I mean, you can make the argument that OKC should be up 2-0. They were dominating that entire game, and Denver pulled a ridiculous comeback, and Aaron Gordon hit a game winner. But what they did in game 2, bro, they couldn't do anything. That was bad. 43, right? They won by like 43.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I think Oklahoma took control of that series again while losing home court advantage, which sounds crazy, but I don't know how Denver comes back from that loss. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
unless like we were saying, I don't mean to cut you off. Unless we were saying Murray drops 30 or more and Jokic drops a 25-plus point triple-double, and that didn't happen last night, so that would be tough.
It's going to be really tough. I think Oklahoma wins that one in 6.
Yeah,
I give Denver one more win. I just feel like I said so many changes towards the end of the season. Jokic is great, but not everybody in Denver is at the IQ level where Jokic is. Jokic doesn't need a coach, but guys like Aaron Gordon, you know, I mean, the only person besides Jokic that can create his own shot is Murray. Everybody else needs Jokic, which in the playoffs is tough because you're not the point guard of the team. You got a center as a floor general, you know, and then on the other team, you got a 7-3 center that's just feasting, bro.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know, because he doesn't have to carry the load that Jokic is carrying.
Yeah. Everybody is young and fresh on that team, and they're hungry.
They're hungry, and they like I said, they have a system. The ball moved. They look good. Boston is gonna live or die by the 3. I don't know why, because they don't got Curry on their team, but you know, it is what it is.
It's wild.
Then you got the other series in the West.
Yeah. Golden State and Minnesota.
Yep.
How do you feel this is going? I mean, Steph is out now.
Steph is out now. The only thing I am worried about, bro, is Jimmy Butler. He's playing against his old team as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Jimmy wills the Warriors to beating Minnesota. But it's going to be.
You think they could do it?
I mean, why not?
Hey, man.
I mean, he took Miami to the finals. They beat Milwaukee that year, remember? Giannis won MVP that year, and he snatched Giannis' soul. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it to his old team. He left Minnesota in bad terms. Remember when he took the whole bench team and beat the starting lineup?
They were taunting him in the crowd last night. Or whenever they were playing. I forgot when that game was. I don't know if it was OKC last night or Minnesota Golden State.
How do you feel about the whole Draymond thing? Can't wait to hear this.
Oh, man. Look, you're the glue. You got 4 rings, all this other stuff. But, I mean, what you're doing on court is totally unnecessary. Kicking niggas in the balls has nothing to do with basketball. You're you got off with a pass in the last game.
Moves.
Nah, for real. I mean, you're marketing yourself. Not really marketing, but people see you as an angry black dude already.
Yep.
I mean, you just play basketball. So, I feel like those are self-inflicted wounds. I mean, everybody already sees you. There's no media agenda to make you look that way. I mean, he did it to himself.
Draymond has been the most undisciplined veteran in the NBA for the last, I'd say, 6-8 years.
That's a good point.
It's just completely
come
unacceptable,
on, man.
bro. Your team has a chance at winning. They fucking need you. Steph Curry is hurt.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And he's one technical away from being suspended.
And then he's going to complain that he got he should have gotten kicked out of the game last night after
that was a flagrant
got called
foul.
for that. The way he was yelling at the ref.
Yep.
They just didn't because it's the playoffs, bro. And that's the problem too with these technicals and stuff. Like it's up to the ref. Rasheed Wallace would have gotten kicked out of that game, you know? So I feel like because of the love they got for Curry in Golden State, Draymond Green sometimes, and it's crazy to say this, but sometimes he gets a pass, bro, because he's just always extra.
100%.
You know?
100%. Nobody talks about his flopping. That nigga crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he takes it to a whole different level. I mean, he'd just be running into dudes.
Just the movements look so intentional. Like I said, you're a vet. You know, the whole extra thing and with the hands and the legs, it just looks so obvious, bro. You're doing extra. It's not a basketball play. You know what I mean? There's just no excuse for it.
Yeah. It's
I don't get it. But who do you got in that series?
Minnesota, man. I think they know what they got to do. They just got to neutralize Jimmy Butler and honestly provoke Draymond because he's stupid enough to acquire another technical foul. Everybody knows that. Just get in his ear and shit.
Let me ask you this. Let's go down memory lane. Do you think Golden State is going to do to Curry what they did to Durant? They brought him in too early and he tore his Achilles. A hammy injury at 37? That's just going to linger for a while, bro.
So it's funny you asked me that. I think Steph is not that dumb to make that choice.
What if they're down 2-1 or 3-1? I mean, he don't got a lot of years left, bro.
But that's my point. Do you want to exacerbate it further? Do you want this Chris Paul situation to happen again? They could make a big offseason move. I mean, there's talks, but I was reading this article this morning. Steve Kerr went into the locker room, and he knew. Like, Steph was like, he was out. Like, he knows.
He knows. Be out more than a week.
Yeah,
I think
he
they capping.
He knows, and he's not stupid. He's 36 or 37.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to play the long game, man. I mean, he has all intentions of playing next year. We all know he's not going to lose a step. His conditioning is next level. So, I mean, why?
Yeah. And Ant, as much as I dislike him, he smells blood in the water, bro.
Yeah, even with the sprained ankle.
Yep. I mean, he came back in the second half.
Crazy.
He was good.
He was working out at halftime on the court. Yeah, he wants that shit.
And, yeah, Draymond with his extra stuff, I just feel like Minnesota in 6.
Race baiting is crazy, though. That's wild.
I mean, he
nah,
did it
nigga,
to
you're
himself.
just crazy on that court. If somebody else did it, I mean, I feel like he wants to go down as one of the greats all around, but we're always going to say, like, a great defender, the glue guy, the enforcer, but, like, your offensive game was never really that great. You're not up in that upper echelon.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that he's mad about that, so he's trying to snatch and grab any other excuse. It's like, bro, no, you had Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson on this team. You're the fourth guy. You're the fourth greatest warrior
ever
of all time. Just take that.
I don't know. I might take Baron Davis over him, bro. I used to love Baron Davis.
Damn, son.
You know? But, yeah, no, I don't see it happening this year for Golden State.
Nah.
You know, I got OKC coming out of the West, and it's going to be Knicks. I still got Knicks and maybe the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. I have a feeling the Cavs are still going to win that series.
I mean, they definitely could if Mobley and Garland are back at even like 65%. just to take some of the offensive load, because Indiana didn't know what to do. They said, just let Donovan Mitchell kill us, because nobody else is really going to do it. Jared Allen, he's going to set the pick. He's going to play, defense, roll to the basket. But
the combination of Jared Allen and Mobley, though, it is a game changer.
It's a Twin Towers thing.
Yeah, so because you got Turner, but there's no answer for the other big man. And I mean, Donovan dropped 48 in game 2. Imagine with Mobley down there. Mm-hmm. That's another 15 and 12, 17 and 12. Those are modest numbers.
Yeah, think of the offensive rebounds.
And he's coming back tonight.
Him and Garland.
They were both practicing, so I think they're going to come back. Best case scenario, it goes to 7 games, but I got the Cavs still winning that series. I mean, I wouldn't mind the Knicks and the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Final. That would be just dope to see.
I mean, I think
that'll be fun.
I got Indiana in 6.
Against Cleveland?
Against Cleveland, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would not be shocked.
I mean, they're already up 2-0. They're going back to Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. Halliburton, man, just late game situations. You could put the ball in his hands now. He is now the clutchest. No, I mean,
it's him and Brunson.
It's him and Brunson
but
for
he's
clutchest
hitting game winners. He's calling out like, "Yo, I want Giannis one."
No, for real. I want this ISO.
You know what I mean? So
I want this ISO.
That shit takes balls.
Yeah, dude. But that's the thing. Like, I see shit like that. It's like, why can't we celebrate that type of thing? That's annoying. I mean, social media loves it. Clearly, the reactions have an effect on viewership throughout the NBA, right? Because if it gets clicks and views, that's revenue for the NBA. I mean, everybody knows that social media plays a role in sports. So speaking about that, staying on that subject, how do you feel? This is going to be fun because, you're younger than me. How old are you now? I'm the young OG.
How old are you?
I just turned 27 in April.
I'm 42.
Damn.
How do you feel social media has affected or changed sports in general?
Players are able to connect more with fans, right? Some are down to earth. Some like to actually connect with the fan base, but it can also give them leverage to get what they want out of an organization for sure. Like if they want out, they're going to post it. If they want more money, they're going to post it. It's like everything we see now, like newsletters, so-and-so posted on story, cryptic message on social media. Does this person want out of so-and-so city? So, I mean, they use it as a tool. I'm sure they have people on their team that push them to do that type of thing. But it's clear to see. I mean, it affects contracts. It affects the minutes a player can play. It can affect players getting traded. Just the whole business aspect,
It does. It creates a lot of crazy delusional narratives as well. I come from the age before social media. It also adds more pressure to athletes now. I believe there's tons more hate now on players, on certain players because of the power of social media. Think about it. MJ retired 3 times, and he did not have to deal with social media.
Right.
You imagine if MJ played in this era with the social media, he would have retired, 5, 6 times? He probably would have had a mental breakdown like Paul George.
Bro, like look at Tatum right now, how the narrative switched.
Now your hands are shaking, bro, because you got to go to your own home court and prove this narrative that millions of people are talking about. And you're seeing it, you're hearing it. Your cousins are calling you, your brothers, your family's like, yo, what you going to do about this? And some people use that as fuel, but some people crumble to that, bro. It's a lot of pressure.
Millions of people giving their opinion on how you play your sport.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To say that's not pressure is wild.
It's created these narratives of, like you said in the last episode, that, Curry's better than LeBron. He's got as many chips. Yeah, I mean, he was part of a stack squad. I feel like social media opens the door to put things out of context,
100%.
Or to not give a full story. And when you just read that little snippet, you're like, holy shit, they're right, It's like, no, let's Let's see the full story. Let's see everything for what it is, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's made players weaker mentally. You know, like
Yeah.
some of these men act like bitches, bro.
Agreed. I mean, they're just going back and forth with fans, just ready
Yeah.
to bite back.
Yeah,
And then
trigger
it's like
happy on
they'll
the
throw the
button.
millions in your face. Like, man, I make this. I don't have to argue with you, but you are.
Correct.
You know.
Because you know that what I'm telling you is the truth. You know, and it hurts. So I mean, what do you feel? You feel like social media has done more good than bad for sports?
I mean, for the business, yeah, but I mean, for the quality of the sport and the purity of it, I don't feel like it's helped at all.
I agree.
You know.
I think there should be clauses in the future where players should just stay out of fucking social media during their season.
Like, you got players on their phones at halftime posting, man.
Literally. And I mean, I'm sorry, if you're in the playoffs, bro, you're not focused on the game. If in the locker room, if you're down by 10 or 15, why the fuck are you on social media, bro?
Crazy, dude.
You should be coming up with a game plan on what to do in the second half. Because what you did in the first one is not working. But
Yeah.
now you're on your phone
Damn,
posting shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I know Pat Riley's like, yeah, no phones during the games. I bet players hate that shit.
I'm sure they do, you know, but I mean, I remember when LeBron used to close
Turn
all
off the
his
phone for the
accounts
summer.
for the whole playoff run. You know what I mean?
Like, bro, come on, man.
Nobody's
doing that.
It requires discipline in this day and age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about in life? How do you feel about social media and how it's changed life? Because it's literally it's changed how we interact as people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's changed people on a social level.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of kids in their 20s and stuff, and honestly, when they're in front of you, they don't know how to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
They don't know how to talk. You know, if a dude is meeting a female in person, I feel like relationships completely get developed on social media, you know, and then months down the road when they meet, they really don't have anything in common or anything to talk about because it's
Yeah.
completely different to be hitting buttons with somebody that's thousands of miles away, but then you have them in front of you.
Right.
You know, like, bro, when I was young, I used to drive hours. You know, I used to ride my bike when I was in Puerto Rico for an hour or two to see a girlfriend or something. Now,
It's easy access. It
Yeah.
gives you immediate gratification, right? And with that being said, too, like you said, I'm younger than you, so social media is all trend-based, and it makes you feel like as if like a mid-20 to a early 20-year-old person, if you're not driving a Lamborghini or making six figures by that time, that narrative is pushed on social media. So if you feel like you're not there yet, you feel like a failure, or you start to question your abilities. But it's like, okay, what are these people doing, or what, like, are they really even genuinely enjoying what they're doing on social media? Like, who's pulling the strings here? Because there's no legitimate way.
Yeah. Are
You
they
know?
even happy? You know, like some of these trends are crazy. People literally hurting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got kids looking up at pop stars and superstars, you know, that hate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just talking to my nephew about this, and it's like you got girls looking up to females like Cardi B. You know, there's no way you can sit here and tell me that Cardi B loves herself. She changed her face, she changed her nose, she changed her breasts, she changed her ass. How do you change your entire body and want to talk about self-love?
Yeah, I don't. That's a tough topic. I mean, body modifications are.
Would you want your daughter looking up to a female like that?
I would tell her she's beautiful all the time.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, even the same could be said on the opposite end of the spectrum too. Like some of the music I used to listen to, like I've faded off because it's not even.
It's not
Like,
music.
none of this shit even makes sense anymore. So I can't even sit there and look at like it's only female rappers, because it's definitely not. Like a bunch of dudes just be talking a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really make any sense.
Like Future.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Yo, my boy Brian's gonna be pissed. But to me, Future is like the most overrated rapper in this generation.
there's a whole lot. I
Like,
mean,
what does he really talk about?
I mean, money and
And
hoes.
hoes
Yeah,
all
and
the
lean.
time. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I have a
Yeah.
hard time. It's happened with everything. It's happened with music. It's happened with arts. Everywhere. It's not just in the States. It's just here. It's globalized more.
That's the effect of social media.
You know, you got females looking up, like, you know, like I said, to girls like Kim Kardashian, you know, like, bro, you got a porn video out there.
Yeah.
I don't want my daughter looking up to these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, but that's just me. I didn't grow up as a teenager or coming up in the social media era. There wasn't that pressure, like you said. You know, you see a 22, 24-year-old kid making millions, but like I said, are they happy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the suicide numbers since social media came out. There's so many.
Crazy.
There's
And
documentaries
post-COVID
out there
too.
and stories of kids killing themselves
Yeah.
because of pressure or things that happen with social media. You
Yeah.
know, people getting blackmailed. It's just nuts, man. Like, to me, social media has done more bad than good
Yeah.
for us as a human society.
Yeah.
You know, morals, like everything. It's just so easy to be shisty
Mm-hmm.
when nobody can see you.
Yeah. And it used to get to a point too where it got so bad they put like post restrictions on. Now they take it off because I mean you do have that freedom of speech too. But I mean, some people really read those comments and really take that shit serious. And I know here we use it as a marketing tool. I feel like that's what it should be used for at this point. People use it as a diary, man. Like I don't even have to meet anybody anymore. You look at their social media, you can just you know everything about this person. I think that's the issue, you know? Yeah. And we all know there's heavy surveillance too. I mean, the things we talk about here are just randomly going to show up on our phones at some point. So it's like, again, you're posting constantly on social media. There's certain algorithms at play across all like networking and searches and stuff like that. They know what you like, and they know they're pushing these things on you so you live your life a certain way.
Yeah.
It really is a matrix type of thing going on.
And it's crazy.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah. Just like, you know, you talked about freedom of speech. To me, there is no such thing in this country, bro. Freedom of speech is really a hoax. If you're following the trends and what you're saying, what's pretty to the ears of everybody, then you're good. But when you come out of that construct, the backlash is crazy, bro. I mean, look at Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got some stuff going on. I mean, he does need to have his Twitter.
But does he? I mean, sure. What happened to freedom of speech? He ain't hurting nobody.
No, I'm just saying.
8-10 years ago,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You should be able to say whatever you want. Like, sure, but shit, it's there's a meme going around like he made Graduation, man, and he's talking about sucking on his cousin's. Oh, damn, man.
I mean, that's
just for your own safety. For your own reputation, you make Graduation, Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, that's childhood trauma coming out, bro, in a social platform.
Oh my God.
You know, because I mean,
to a certain extent, though, he is really legitimately exposing.
He's the realest dude out there, whether you agree with him or not.
It sounds crazy.
The truth. He's saying how he feels.
This is what it's done. This is what fame and like all the shit behind the curtains, this is what it has done to a human being. It's done to a smart person. Like, yeah, I mean, some of it I believe, other shit I'm like, yo, you got to chill. Like, you can talk about this and pray. You don't have to broadcast this. But with that being said, I feel like there's some truth to whatever rants he does go on.
Yeah, I mean, there always is, you know?
Yeah. I mean, some shit through the wire, man.
I don't know, man. Like, social media has its pros. I just feel like the cons.
But it's not even being used for what it's made for. I mean, you have social media apps strictly. And just for another example, you have dating apps, two separate entities. But then you have dating apps intertwined between the social media now. And then you have AI. And everybody with a fucking brain knows how AI is going to go, bro. Yeah. Everybody's going to be fucking robots. Everybody knows it's true. It's in the movies. It's going to happen, dude. Anything to limit social interaction and have people all live one way.
It's like Wall-E. Remember Wall-E?
Yeah, when
Where
everybody was
everything
fat,
became-
man,
everybody
and in
was fat
space,
because you didn't walk for
eating
nothing. You
chips
didn't
and
work for
shit.
nothing, bro. Everything was done from a chair.
Yeah, no, for real.
I mean, that's the way
Yeah, man.
we're heading.
To think that you have control over something you're giving control to, it's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're relinquishing all responsibility to technology, which has like endless resources.
Yeah.
You saw that video of that one robot spazzing out in China?
Yeah.
That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah.
That shit was funny as hell.
That's what's going to happen. How do you feel it affects businesses, business owners? I feel
to
like
a certain extent, my bad.
No, you're good. Go.
To a certain extent, some businesses can thrive. Others prefer not to use it. Someone like me, being a trainer and getting leads from online and everything, I feel I find it very useful. And especially being on a fitness journey, I feel like it's very beneficial to have something like that documented, especially if you're trying to sell a product. Again, people do just do things for views, strictly.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I think social media has helped the most when it comes to businesses, you know, because
100%.
now you could be a Joe Blow, and if you have a nice site and you're promoting yourself properly, you can reach millions of people.
It takes one video,
Correct.
literally.
Or like one phrase that just goes off.
Mm-hmm.
And you are pretty much set, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where back in the day, it took years with the word of mouth and business
Yeah.
cards and all this stuff. Now, like you said, you put a video, you get lucky, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's really just a game of consistency, you know, just posting every day so you show up on other people's algorithms, you know, and then you provide a service, you provide information, and that's something I'm definitely working on now too, because I'm not tech savvy at all.
Man, who you telling? I'm a dinosaur.
And I like the word of mouth. Like when people come to me and they want to train with me, I appreciate that. But now I'm starting to see the effects of posting my journey and other people's journeys. It definitely does help. People need to see your product, and especially if it's something you believe in, like you working with food and everything. People love pictures of food.
They do.
Once I see a picture of a taco, I want a taco.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Call it food porn.
It is food porn.
Speaking of your journey, you know, you're a personal trainer, like you said.
Mhm.
What got you into that? What was your inspiration behind that? Because, I mean, when I met you, you were working the 9 to 5. You were working your 40 hours a week. You know,
Damn near 50.
the comfort of that. And then you made that leap. You went, you know, you went down to part-time and doing the personal training for a while. And then you made the whole leap. Yo, I'm quitting my job and I'm doing this. You
That
know.
was actually last year, which
Yep.
is crazy. But what got me into it, all jokes aside, like I am a big nerd, like as far as comic books and shit goes. And my dad was always in shape growing up, so I always wanted to look like a superhero and an athlete. And then watching basketball growing up, watching LeBron, like all jokes aside, no glaze. I mean, he is arguably one of the like best built basketball players all around. Scottie Pippen too. Like his physique was always, you know, like athletic and everything like that. So I mean, I looked up to people like that, but over time, basketball just kind of took over. Then from there, I remember I was like 13 or whatever. My dad tried to get me in the gym, like directly after 2 hours of playing basketball. Like honestly, I really don't feel like doing it, but
Yeah.
I mean, like we couldn't have went another day, like when I just didn't play all this basketball. But anyway, over time, fitness just started taking over basketball because you realize in a certain sport, you know, like, all right, I'm definitely not going pro or anything. It's really an exposure thing. It doesn't matter how good you are. It's all exposure.
Yep.
Again, like social media. But anyway, fitness and working out and everything, seeing the results over time, that just kind of took over basketball. So I would, again, this is like before heavy social media. Like Instagram just came around and shit. People just started using it. I think Snapchat just came around. But I would be on YouTube, and I was like 15, 16, something like that. And I would go on YouTube and like watch OG fitness YouTubers videos and stuff. And they would go through all their videos. And I had a sheet of paper. I wish I still had it, but I would write down all my workout plans and stuff like that. So that over time just got me into falling in love with it and everything. always kept basketball at like a number 2, so it was like a kind of equal love with both. Like you said, when I met you, like right when COVID happened, when they just started letting people see each other again and shit. Yeah. Before that, I was just really like coasting, like warehouse job, whatever, making good money. I was just always working.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you just kind of know, like, damn, like I'm not trying to do this forever. And you hear from certain people, like, you have potential, but potential can be wasted. Just because you have potential, it doesn't mean you're going to do anything. You have to use it.
Yeah.
Or like you have to, build a proof of concept and actually do something to see what your potential has brought you. So over the years, I just connected with different people, and then I ended up getting put on to a gym called Armada Cross Training, and Von Page was there, and I started going to classes. It ended up being from like 2 classes a week to 5. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but I was investing into myself. And mind you, over the years, I graduated high school and I knew I wanted to work with in kinesiology and all that stuff like that. I always knew I wanted to train, but I just didn't have the social skills. I didn't have the confidence. I wasn't surrounded around the right people. So it was just, it was all potential with no action. Because, I mean, you're around people like that. You don't know how to leap. Yep. You don't even know what you're capable of. So with that being said, I started going there. That's around the time I met you. I saw you going all in your passion and, no doubt at all. I mean, you knew what you were doing. You built a proof of concept. You have competence, because confidence and competence are 2 different things. Yep. So you believed in your abilities because you created a proof of concept. And then from there, I just kept having the bug in my ear, like, you should start training, And around like 18 or 19, I remember starting my personal training course, and then at the end of the day, just not having the confidence to finish. Like, I would start stuff, but I never really believed in myself enough to like fully go in. So in 2022, maybe the beginning of 2023, that's when I finished. I passed my course and everything. Even though it was an open book test, I was still nervous because I have test anxiety. But anyway, nonetheless, I got that done, and since then, I've just been coaching ever since. And like we were talking about earlier today, you live in the reality you want. So it's like, you know what? I'm not going to be working in this warehouse shit forever. So let me start training. It started off with 3 clients. Then a few months later, someone reached out and gave me an opportunity to work at another gym. So I was doing that. My personal clients, I was coaching at Armada, and I was working at a warehouse. So I have 4 jobs, basically. But over time, I knew, like a rocket ship, like portions, as you go higher, portions of the rocket ship drop off because it doesn't need it anymore. So last year was when I quit my job. And now we're here.
That's awesome.
All in.
Yeah.
How about you? You're a chef. Where did you find that love?
So I was always drawn to the kitchen. My father cooked United Nations building in Manhattan. My oldest brother knew since he was like 12, 13, he wanted to be a chef. I left Puerto Rico when I was 16. I was up to no good in the island. I got into some shit. And long story short, at my dad's church, there was a couple that was from Buffalo, and they ended up moving back to Buffalo. So when certain things happen in the island that I'm not going to discuss here, I left the island and I moved with them for a little, then went on my own, and I started washing dishes. Got good at that, ended up cooking. Then I went to Arizona to go to culinary school. I was pretty good at it. I wasn't even sure at that point if that's what I wanted to do as a career. Then my father passed. When my father passed, that's when I really, looking back, it wasn't even like on purpose, like I had a plan. But that was the outlet I had to mourn the death of my father. When my father died, he was my best friend. It was right around my birthday. It hit hard. And I didn't want to see nobody. I was sick of seeing people crying, so I just submerged myself in my work. And that's when I started, like if I'm going to do this, I want to be great at it. And that's when I really got into the whole cooking thing. I applied myself because like you said, I mean, even the Bible says it. We all have a calling, but we're not all chosen. You know why? Because we don't all apply ourselves. You see it in sports. You see it in everything. I feel like everybody has a potential to do something great, but that takes discipline. That takes hard work. Life is not a movie. Money doesn't grow in trees. And a lot of people want to make a lot of money and a little work, and that's just not. Unless you come from money, that's not realistic. But honestly, what made me fall in love with the kitchen, is crazy to say, was the death of my father. Yeah. And I think of him all the time when I'm in the kitchen, because we used to do those things, and yeah, I just try to be the best chef I possibly could. Started traveling a little, cooking here and there. And out of all the places that I ever lived, I said I'd rather start from scratch in Buffalo than in the city or Connecticut or wherever else I was, and that was my story. I was good at baseball. I was really good at baseball. But when I was 16, with the whole moving and everything, I stopped playing ball. I moved to Arizona thinking I could play more, and I was just very far away where good baseball was being played. So
yeah,
that's when I realized baseball was not going to be it.
So at some point, we both realized, like, yeah, we ain't going pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. You said your love, or like your deep dive started with washing dishes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like every good chef started. I mean, that's the intro to everybody in the kitchen. You start from the bottom.
That's how I know I'll never be a chef, because I fucking hate doing dishes.
Yeah.
I will never be a chef.
I was in high school. I was playing baseball, and then I was working at Kohl's. Actually, that was my first kitchen job at Kohl's over there on Elmwood.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yep. And yeah, that's how it all began. And it's funny. Everybody's got their own story, but meeting people like you at the age you're in, it's good to hear these stories, because anybody can do it.
Yeah. That was one of the goals. That's why we wanted to come on here, because, I mean, we were saying, too, we each don't know 400 people. So there's other people listening for sure, and they need to hear these conversations, too. I mean, another question I have for you, how did you deal with doubt? Did you have any doubts? Were you scared? Anything like that?
I'm not trying to sound like cocky or arrogant, but no, I always believed in myself, because at the end of the day, I know I can outwork anybody, especially when I was young and trying to make a name. If you're putting 16 hours a day, I'm going to put 18.
Yeah.
If I was working for a chef that was more talented than me, I'm there an hour early and I'm there an hour after my shift.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn everything that you know.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next and to the next. And that's how I created my own style. Me and my brother took different paths. My brother always worked for a chef. I started running kitchens when I was like 23, 24. And I just created my own niche. The food I do is not the normal common pairings that you see. But then when you try it, you're like, man,
oh, shit.
This makes sense. This fish with this white chocolate tastes really delicious, So you get what you put into it. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it's the same thing with you and with anybody that's great.
For me, it's like I'm obsessed. And if I put in the same amount of hours that you did, I know I will be great too. And I know to a certain extent I have to care more. Sometimes, especially like with the body, a healthy obsession can become an unhealthy obsession. Like, you are your own worst critic. A mirror can be your worst enemy for sure. So it's like a constant, everyday critique of oneself. So, like you said, doubt, I mean, you have no room for it.
No.
You have no room for it. And at the end of the day, after like 90 days, once you start to see some physical changes and strength changes, you realize at that point, like, oh shit, like I was really the one that was in my own way. Like I'm moving this weight, or like I'm prepping this meal. People like the food that I'm preparing. So it's like, again, you establish that proof of concept and go off that. So that just removes all doubt.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never had doubts. I am a living example of what you said. You know, I got 3 back surgeries. I'm 42, you know, and my body's kind of broken, but it was because of the ridiculous amount of hours I was putting in kitchens. When I got hurt and I went through my surgeries, I went through a stage where I was like, you know what? I'm done with the kitchen, bro. It's not worth it. You putting all this money in
it's brought you joy
pockets.
And pain.
Yeah, and then when I got hurt, at least the people I was working for at the time, they treated me like a stranger, you know, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. Never ran a restaurant again. But after a couple of years of not cooking, it was like calling back, you know, because that's my passion. So now I'm at a stage. I'm older. I'm a little wiser. Like I told you, I'm starting this venture with my nephew, and I'm trying to get him to gain that confidence, to get that confidence. You know, I'm trying to take him under my wing and show him like, yo, you can do this. Because I see more potential in him than he sees in himself. And once he starts applying himself, he'll see it as well, I'm sure. But right now, you know, we're in talks every day, and he's like, yo, you know, I'm scared, I'm excited, I'm freaking out. And I'm
it's
like,
a
bro,
roller coaster of emotions. You ride that wave, bro. It's
take a deep
rush.
breath. If this is something you love to do, look, you took the leap now. Now you're here. Whether you succeed this time or not, you can look at yourself in the mirror 30 years down the road and say, you know what? I fucking did this. You're not going to be with that regret. Oh, you know, I should have done this. I should have done that when I was younger. I've always been a leap taker, bro. Ever since I left home, like I said, I got a taste of independence. You know, I started doing houses when I didn't know 2 shits about it.
But you tried.
I taught myself. But you know what? I did it. Like you said, you tried. You know, if you're not in it, it's always going to be the what if. That's not a life that I wanted. I'm not knocking on people that like that corporate world, being told what to do all the time, a regimented system. That's just not me, bro. I need my freedom, especially when it comes to cooking. That's why I never did the hotel or corporate stuff, because there's just no room. There's no room for creativity.
Right.
You know? So that's me. And like I said, seeing nephew now with all this youth, all this energy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro,
just got to channel that shit.
Take all that insecurity and use it as fuel, you know, to become as great as you want to take yourself. You know, it's going to take work, but if this is really what you want to do, this is the time.
Because if you're going off someone else's playbook, pages run out.
Yeah. My story's not your story.
Exactly.
You know?
And it definitely does come down to surroundings. Like, are you surrounded around other go-getters? Are you surrounded around like true believers? Like, would they have your back like you have their back? That's another thing too. You need to have like a solid team. Just like in the physical realm, it applies to every other facet of life too. It's like, if you're the healthiest, you have a team. You have a physical therapist, you have a personal trainer, you have a nutritionist, you have a team of people to make sure you're performing at your best. So it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in life. And what's the term? You get there quicker if you're alone. You get farther if you're together. Yeah. You know, it only makes sense. So that's the biggest. I can definitely say that's the biggest change. That's what triggered the change in me. Like, I always knew I had certain skills. I could have developed them more at the time, but once I changed my surroundings, that's when things really started to change. It only really took one person to say, like, yo, you can do that shit. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Because, I mean, I had 2 parents in my household. That's a blessing within itself. But, I mean, you hear that all your life, and from the same people, it's like you kind of only...
It's kind of their job to
it's
tell
kind of
you
their
that,
job to do that.
Know?
It's like... It's like my pleasure with Chick-fil-A. like they have to tell you that shit, you know? not to say it doesn't mean anything, but you meet somebody you don't even know that is successful already, telling you that shit, it's like, huh.
Yeah.
You know?
And all that is true, but at the end of the day, you need to want it for yourself.
100%.
That's the most important part about it. You know, there's going to be some days where you're going to need to wake up and tap yourself in the back and be like, yo, let's
At
fucking go
4:30
get it.
a.m.
Because not every day there's going to be somebody there to tap you in the back and be like, yo, you can do this. You know, like motivation's great, but you need to be able to self-motivate yourself.
That's where that discipline
if you
comes
want to.
in.
Yeah, the discipline. Yep.
Stay sharp at all times. Like, discipline and then consistency. Consistent discipline.
Yep.
Like, they're two different things.
And it works both ways. You need to be consistent when it's not going good and when it is going good. Because some people, when it starts going good, they start resting on their laurels. They sit back, and now everything slowly starts falling apart because you made a couple of dollars or you
get
met
comfortable.
some people, you feel like you made it. You know, and once again, you see this again. You see it in sports. You see it in music because of money. You know, once you make that money, a lot of people lose the hunger. Bro,
Yeah.
I don't care how much money I have in this world. I just won't be able to forget where I came from.
Right.
You know, and some people lose sight of that.
And like you said, like we said last week, that it's an amplifier, right? So if you're already grateful, if you're already a blessing towards others, imagine what you do with more bread. You know, I would do the same thing for my people too, because I mean, I didn't grow up with much either.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what I want to do. If I come to a point where I'm like, yo, I got this capital here, my thing is already going good. My dream is to be able to invest in people, young people that are great at what they do. They're hungry. They just don't have the means to do what they can do. You know what I mean? I want to be able to invest in those type of people, even if it's something that I don't know nothing about. Because you know, when you see people in any type of business, you know if they're okay, you know if they're good, you know if they're great, because their work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to get to a position where it's like, oh, you know, you meet this 24-year-old person that's great at what they're doing. Their work stands out, but they don't have the capital, or they don't even know how to go about it. Like,
They
yo,
just know they want more.
let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's
For
kind of
sure.
like what they do in Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
this thing set up. You have a great plan.
Spray on shoes.
just
Hear me
go.
out.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
Listen. No, but,
exactly.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. I mean, just knowing you want more, knowing that at the end of the day, if someone else is eating off my efforts, then I just won't feel right about it. I'd rather eat with,
Correct.
you know. I don't want to go and gather and bring to one person to distribute. I want to distribute amongst myself and my loved ones, you know.
And that's the people you want to be around, because like it's so hard in this day and age, you know, and part of it, like we were just talking about with the whole social media thing,
man.
every successful person, they get so much hate. You know, I don't want to be around people like that. I want to be around people that are like-minded. I don't care about their economical status. I care about what type of person you are. You know, and it just, that's how I've addressed life in general, friendships, relationships, business.
Yeah.
You know,
That's just your character. I mean, it shows in every aspect.
yeah. I mean, I've been burned by so many people because you try to find the good in everybody. You try to see what they can't see in themselves. Now I'm at a point in my life where I've learned from those mistakes, and I can't help everybody.
Dude.
I can't help everybody to change their own mindset. If I don't see the discipline, bro, like we can't even be friends. And that's not me being fake. It's just, you're going to cripple me. You're going to hold me back.
Yeah.
And that's just not fair to me and the people that I love. You know, I got kids now. I got a family. About to get married. You know, it's not just about me now.
Yeah.
You know, I got other heads to think about. So the last 3 years were a big lesson as far as that, you know, ended some bad friendships, ended some good friendships. Some outgrew themselves, and some people just show their true colors, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's best to walk away than to do something stupid and put yourself in a precarious situation over money.
Yeah, to think that stuff like that doesn't happen to people your age or at your point in life, you're about to get married, you have kids. Drama still goes on, and people still feed off that shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been close for some time now, so I've seen this firsthand, and I've always been at a point where I'll learn through my own experience, but I definitely want to learn through other people's experiences too. That's important, because there's cautionary tales, there's winning formulas, there's formulas to stay away from and everything. But I just want people like me. You gotta want something. Like,
for sure.
I'll help as much as I can, but if it comes to a point where it's not helping either of us,
And it's just hindering me.
exactly.
That's a key thing, you know. If it's not helping both of us, but it's like, I don't really need your help. I'm trying to help you. Back in the day, you know, there's a saying in Puerto Rico, like, I used to uncover myself to try to cover other people. And it just I always found myself in a position where I'm the one getting screwed over, you know, because either I overtrusted people, I overloved people. The love and the trust was reciprocal. I try to block those things out because I'm like, yo, you can get there. You can.
Yeah.
Some people are just.
It's too much of
Not-
a good
not
thing.
worth
Like you
it.
said, too much
Yeah.
love, too much trust.
Yep.
That's too much of a good thing. It's like some people receive that from you, and they use it as like a coddling method, as like, oh no, well, no matter what I'll do, he'll always be around.
Correct.
Oh, reliable.
And then when you generally cannot,
They're like, what the
You're
fuck?
the
What?
bad guy.
Why'd you pull the rug out from under me? It's like you
Exactly.
didn't apply any effort. I mean,
and that's what took me 40 years to learn, bro. Like, life is an endless lesson, bro. You know, the day you feel like you've learned it all is the day you're truly dumb. You know, it's a fact.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad we're talking about it too, because that's one of my flaws too. I mean, at least early on in training too. I mean, when people found out, it's like, yo, when we trying to work out, this, that, the other, it's like, nah, I need to kind of start getting paid for this now.
Of course.
You know, and some people get funny about that shit, but I mean, even now, it's like, I know, I see some old friends and everything, and I know all you need to do. Like, I hate to sound like a gym bro, but I mean, in reality, we were given these bodies as a gift.
Yeah.
Imagine if you start taking care of it. I mean, it changes your whole, like, mental structure and the way you think, the way you carry yourself and everything. So if I'm a resource for that, and I know, and I'm constantly learning every day, it's hard not to provide this service to people who really don't want it. But I know that's all they need. You
Yep.
know, like you said, you want to give young people an opportunity, and that's all they need is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, they have all the potential, but it's like, I know, like, I could tell you're just going to waste this. I could tell you're just going to waste my time. So it's just like, let me just, you're going to have to want it. Because, like, there's
Can't
been times,
teach ambition.
like, I'll show up to the gym, oh, I'm not going to make it. Or mad shit happens. And then, like, there'll be, like, weeks or months, like, yo, trying to get back. And it's like, yo, like, my schedule is different now. Like, you got to get with the times at
Yeah.
this point, you know, but.
You know what else I don't understand? And it happens with the people that are close to you. You go into business, and these people rather pay a stranger than to pay you for your services. They're just like, oh, you know, you my boy, so they're just expecting a hookup. I'm like backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I know you and I see you're starting on your venture, bro, what you want, that's what I'm going to pay. What everybody else is paying, that's what I'm going to pay, because that is how I can support you.
Yeah.
You made a change in your life where you're not working for the man. This is your income. This is how you feed your family. So it's like, we know each other, and you expect me to do this for you for free? I've never understood that mentality. Like, obviously, if I know you and we're close, that should be left up to me, to my discretion. Like, you know what? I'm not going to charge you for today's session.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, come to this tasting. It's on me. But
Yeah.
it can't be every time, bro. Like, I got to eat too.
You know what it is? It's like, especially with, like you said, with people you know in all your life. They know at some point, especially if they're close with you, they saw you come up. So
Yeah.
they have that sense of entitlement, like, well, I was a part of your come up. You were like a cameo in the
fraction.
story,
Yeah.
but like you didn't really contribute to my growth. So
Correct.
they feel as if they deserve some of your food, literally, that you spent all this time prepping. Like,
yeah,
you
like
wasn't
you
with me
gotta
shooting in the
respect the
gym.
work. Yeah, respect the work. And like I said, you're paying somebody else, so you're telling me that you rather go and pay a stranger
Crazy.
than to pay. I'm your boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like this should be a two-way road.
Yeah.
It's not just me giving you and giving you and giving you because we know each other. You know what I mean? Like I've never understood it.
Yeah. I mean, but it's inevitable in this shit. I mean, it's happened to you. I've been in business less than 2 years, or like training less than 2 years, actually starting up my business and everything. That's been a process throughout this year. I thank God for every opportunity and everyone around me, including yourself and others, old and new. But that too, like not stressing about the things I can't control and really putting my faith in God, like a delusional sense of faith. Like tomorrow I could post a video and it could get 1 million views. Yeah. And if it doesn't, okay, maybe the next day. Or, like
life goes on. It's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
You got to pace yourself.
It takes one time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Tortoise in the hare type shit.
Yep.
Well, efficiency.
I hope you guys like this episode. Everyone, tune in, like, comment, react. Hit us up with any questions. We're evolving. We're growing.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to go live, start bringing guests little by little.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate every view, every listen. We did not expect the numbers we're getting. So keep running it up. Like, comment, share, all that. Thank you.